Hey guys, welcome to Muscle Memory. My name's Malcolm. We're here with the queen of the Northern Lights Suplex. She's challenging for the TNA Knockouts Championship and under siege against Masha Slamovich. I was about to call you Alicia Fox. That's not even your name. Victoria Crawford. How are you?
I'm doing good, Malcolm. Thank you so much for having me.
That was great seeing you again. I mean, like I've seen you a few times in the last year or so. You've been wrestling on different shows. Saw you at WrestleCade, saw you at Fourth Rope in Vegas, but now you're going to be in TNA challenging for that championship. Talk about the excitement going into a match like that.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited because off the bat, I'm just gonna say TNA is already challenging my arsenal to kind of like take it up a notch. So I'm happy to have that opportunity. And then more importantly, I'm wrestling under Victoria Crawford, which is a whole different experience. So it's like I have to think of how I would throw the So I'm looking forward to not dealing with Masha, but working with Masha because she's such an established champion in other divisions and other promotions. So um yeah, I'm excited to see what our styles look intertwined.
Yeah. This is gonna be amazing though, because I believe doing some research and whatnot, the last time you challenged for a major women's championship on television was at WrestleMania 30. And now we're in 2025, you're challenging for the TNA Knockout Championship. What's the difference between Alicia Fox then and Victoria Crawford now?
Good question. Thank you, Malcolm. Let's see. Alicia Fox well, the thing is like I just don't know if I'd be able to lace Alicia Fox's boots anymore. I'm just a completely different person, and I love how in wrestling you can kind of play both parts. Because I guess when I go back to WWE or if I were to go back, I'd be Alicia. But, you know, um, so far it's been pretty dynamic. Like I actually was just talking to a friend about that change and I was such a young little Alicia Fox that, I didn't develop my persona until way later in my chapter, but now I feel like equipped and engaged. So it's just I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm trying to keep on that like it's okay to not know the finish, but I like want to know. So yeah, definitely different night and day.
Absolutely. Now, you had your TNA debut officially wrestling Brittany Brooks on Impact. As a good friend of the channel, she's an amazing wrestler. What's it like now, like facing off against some of these newer talents that she tweeted out a photo of her with you when she was holding like a Raw Women's Championship, meeting you at WrestleMania. Now you guys are wrestling in a TNA ring. What's it like seeing that experience now?
That was amazing. I actually, I, she, I mean, we had talked about her identification or her relation with like Alicia, before, but it really hit me to see that picture of us both and then to see where we are today, so being able to have an opportunity to have those many miracles like everywhere I go, like all the like even wrestling Jordan Grace, that was quite that was on my bucket list for sure. So to be a part of how to like bring more love to the industry is just remarkable. I can't relive my career, not that I would, but it's really nice to be a part of where our industry is going
Definitely
for,
no.
for
Absolutely no, it's progressing forward. There's a lot of like fans that watch you growing up that now are becoming these wrestlers now that eventually will be those big superstars in TNA and WWE, AEW, etc. Now talking about like this match, like what's your confidence level going into this match with Masha that you're gonna walk out as Knockouts champion?
well, not to, to my own horn, but I mean, I really hope I do take the championship because I definitely know I can sell some tickets. But I mean, that's me being cocky, but uh, honestly, I'm just really going in with no expectations. I do hope to have the Knockouts championship because the Knockouts as a division themselves, they've always been go-getters, like it's funny because in talking to like Rosemary and some of the girls about how they perceived the evolution of TNA, it's funny because it's very parallel to the way I perceived my evolution with WB because at the time it was evolving too. So, and the moment I remember that division having like really concrete structured matches, and we had our Divas division, which was great. It obviously contributed a lot, but our matches were different kind of stories. So right off the bat, I know I'm going to be challenged. I know the fans don't know I don't think they think I'm a technician, but
We are.
with Mox, yeah, like You know? But with Masha, her whole package as like a tough girl from another country, just already the story's telling itself, she she could also use the idea that I mean I've already done it. What do I need to take her like what about my story I can't be, satisfied with. So I'm excited to see how in telling stories at TNA, their characters are so dynamic and there's just a different level of TV time there. So I'm really hoping we can set ourselves up for some beautiful stories later, So the match, I'm honored, but I'm really hoping it leaves like the fans curious and but it's my first time back in a sense, so I'm like, oh come on, don't be talking yourself up because I'll believe my own hype too and I'll get there and not know what's going on. I don't know. Just kidding.
Are we going to see you like continue to work with TNA down the line, or is this maybe just like a come in, see if you win the title? If not, then maybe go to a different spot.
Oh, correct. Yeah, I didn't even really perceive that either. I'm hoping to really build a home there, to be honest with you. Like the more I were like, embraced in the locker room, the more I just like the wrestling I realized was living in my spirit. It wasn't in my mind. It wasn't in my performance. It was like in my spirit. So that's something that I'm really grateful that carried with me. So when I were in the locker room with these women and listening to our struggles being very parallel, I just really saw, I don't know, I just started seeing Victoria as a wrestler. Like it was just, I wasn't playing a persona. I wasn't trying to play into somebody else's character. It was just kind of like naturally started to overcome me, and so yeah, I just really realized that there's just so much healing in the wrestling that you can't do alone at home. You know what I'm saying? So come on, self, get yourself together.
Now, I feel like you could definitely win this championship if you just like spam Northern Light suplexes on Masha, like because you have the best one in the business. I mean, like there's compilations out there or complications out there of like different people doing that move, and yours just looks the best. Who taught you how to do that move, and why do you feel like you're the best at it? Because you are.
Malcolm, thank you. Well, I will say that is the only move I have is my Northern Lights. To be honest with you, I've had a lot of great, coaches and everything like leading up to this point in my career, even the ones I have today at Hatchet, but I first person I want to credit is my Girl Scout troop team because we would always have these limbo competitions like and then obviously you need flexibility and flexion in your spine. I mean,
Yeah.
not that I'm practicing Pilates or anything, but I am. But I was always winning the limbo competition, so I always laugh a little bit because I wonder if that had any influence on like that being the only move I could do. But yeah, no, honestly, something like the greatest thing about going through the developmental system is like you had other people really helping you capitalize on some of your strengths. Like obviously like taking the bumps, being more of the base, I felt if you asked me was my strength.
Yeah.
But it was the coaches that said made other suggestions on like how to use your legs, how to use more of your things. And so yeah, just that was the one thing that also some women could do, of course, but it just seemed to be more of a signature. So yeah, that's a long story, longer as my
I thought you were gonna say that because you were crediting your Girl Scout troops leaders and whatnot. I thought you were gonna say you started beating them up during like camp or something. You started hitting them with suplexes. I'm like, oh, didn't expect that kind of answer, but no, that makes a lot of sense in limbo competitions. I didn't even think about that.
there goes the amendments. Yeah,
Right?
totally. Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, that's the one thing that's going to be really interesting in seeing what part of Alicia Fox's moveset will translate over and or where. Um, I think in wrestling with Brittany Brooks this week, we kind of all didn't know if I were going to be received as a baby face or a heel, you
Yeah.
know? So I feel like I could talk to you about those things.
Yeah.
Um, so I were kind of really open to them swaying either way. I think just on some mannerisms or, recognizable things, they started to boo. So that was like, that was kind of like in a sense, because now I had information, I had feedback, and I guess going forward, like I said, I don't give myself any credit for being a technician or a high flyer, but who knows? It's the pay-per-view. I'm gonna try to hop off the middle rope or something.
Hit a 450, see what happens. It can go well.
Totally.
Amazing.
I know. I've seen that on TV. I know what you're talking about. Oh, I'm gonna try.
Now, I see you with Robert Stone on TNA. Where'd that kind of combination come from? Do you trust a guy like Robert Stone? I mean, I guess he got you a championship match, so maybe he can be trusted, but why are you with that guy?
Oh my gosh, it's so funny because as Robert Stone walked into catering, like most of the TNA roster recognizes him, and obviously he's now with the NXT and everything. But however, for me, it was definitely, the chit chatter about his reputation that was like attractive to I need to be linked with that guy. But it's also the fact that he's got so much respect and in-ring know-how. It reminds me of like being with Noam Dar. Like that's the benefit of like, in my experience, that was the benefit of my career when I were able to be matched with another male talent because, they're experiencing wrestling different. They don't typically do hair bills and gimmicky things. So I were able to kind of really like learn a whole nother layer. So as soon as like, and I don't even know naturally, I think it was just written. I mean, naturally they probably just paired us together. I have no idea. It was just like a miracle, I guess. But in working with him, like in the talking segments, like he's real strong on the mic. I get really shy and get a little insecure talking about wrestling sometimes in my wrestling persona. So, I know where I'll be able to learn from him for one, and then now being my full victorious self, like it's such a good challenge internally for me to see what I'm made out of, now in a different state of mind, different characters in the environment, different environment. I'm older now. I'm the oldest one, I should add. I'm just kidding. But yeah, but at the same time, we're there to sell some tickets, right? So I think that really between myself, Robert, and Tessa, I think it'll be an interesting dynamic, especially considering Tessa being in the women's division. And if we're as a unit here and can establish like, I don't know, maybe a flow or not. Like I love the fact that we can still end in the ring, so everyone can constantly be moving, constantly working, um, and helping each other get over, really, I love that Nikita and some of the NXT girls came over. Fantastic. It's built-in story, it's just can we be entertaining and appropriate, And so I like to be a part of this new era now, you know, the women can be dynamic because they come with strong social platforms, and it's a competitive market on that alone. So if you don't really know how to like curate a brand, it may make your wrestling experience, it may help or, not, but it would just always be, it just helps the match, if you know what I'm saying. So now some of our stories are going to be probably, created differently. So, I mean, I'm like, what's going to happen to wrestling? I'm so excited.
Absolutely. Now, I have about three more questions for you. So, we're sitting in May of 2025. So, next month being June and whatnot. Back in 2010, in June, at the Fatal Four-Way pay-per-view, you became the Divas champion, first ever African American Divas champion. Now, watching that match, I was so hyped. I was excited. I was 10 years old at the time. I was livid. It was amazing. It was a great time to be alive. What did it mean to you in that match to win that championship?
Oh, it was remarkable. It was something I never ever dreamed. And I literally in wrestling, it's funny because people that aren't like us workers, like they always wonder if the finish is planned, and even I can't really remember the details of like how we got there for that fatal four way. However, I still were of the unbelieving type until the bell rang. One, two, three, and I had it in my hands, and I feel as though I'll probably keep experiencing wrestling blowing my mind in the moment. But after that was my reality, it were such a gift to kind of think of like how I got here. I'm just a little girl from Jacksonville, at the time I was like one of their youngest signees. So like I knew as a business decision that maybe they entrusted what skills they have gifted me with, now how to apply. Like now that's when I started realizing like, okay, I'm gonna have to figure it out, now it's my own way. How do I perceive my
Yeah.
journey? And championship or not. That's what I later kept learning too. So it's really funny because as these young girls are coming in, they can come in with championships from other promotions. And in my generation, it's like, oh wow, that's a champion. You kind of like, they bring it everywhere? Do they put it on other shows? Like the dynamics of what we now can do in wrestling are blowing my mind. Like I'll go to an independent show and then there's like these women that are well established, young and willing. And it's like, holy moly, there's so many women that I'm sure will possibly end up in WWE or TNA, but in my position now, like if I'm at TNA, I'm going to make it the best I can. If I'm at WWE, I'm going to make the best I can so the girls can come to somewhere, the way they opened the ring for me when I were coming into the independents. I knew nothing about any other company other than WWE. So it were the Brittany Brooks, Jada Stone, like there's Thunder Rosas, the Love Rosas, the Maseratis that literally were like, hey girl, you changed with us over here. Showed me the locker room, showed me that, there's coffee over here. Got in the ring. Jordan, like came with like some ideas that she saw from an Alicia Fox match. And I there was able to really activate that part of my mind that I sometimes could turn on and turn off out of what's my life to do next after WWE. Like I had no clue. I had dreams, but I had no tangible credibility. I didn't have a degree. I didn't have a corporate experience. I had what I perceived from wrestling to be on a resume, which I was very proud of. I wrote it, but it wasn't competitive in this society of like other industry, So um, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to go see what I'm made out of, like outside the ring, because I really believe that that's what's gonna guide me in my TNA experience. Because I'll have some more structure and an outline, and then they call me Victoria. So if I do go shit in the bed, it's my, it's like this person that's doing, I'm completely
Absolutely.
committed to that.
Absolutely. Now, I have one final question for you. Now, this is my favorite question to ask wrestlers. Alicia Fox, Victoria Crawford, what is your Waffle House order?
So you asked me this question. It's so funny. Well, I'm a big sucker, obviously a waffle. Waffle, probably two sausages and well scrambled eggs. No runny stuff. No runny.
No runny stuff?
Get them
You
all.
gotta cook it all up. All the
Get
yellow
it.
turn to eggs,
Get them
okay?
all toasty so like crunch.
So you don't do you are you one of those kind of people that likes like the crusty bits of the egg? You know when you cook the eggs and it's kind of crunchy at the end? Are you one of those people that eats that?
Like,
Uh,
all the egg crust. But if it's runny, it's like I'm a texture person, so it's
yeah.
like
Hmm. Eating the crunchy parts though, I don't. Ooh,
me.
that's a take. That's a hot take. I don't think I've heard anyone say that before. Eating the
Yeah,
crunchy bits of the eggs, that's what goes in the trash can. You don't eat them.
you better burn that waffle, baby. I like it
Burn the waffle.
yeah,
What?
brown. I like it.
Oh,
Pecan.
that burn it brown is fine. I don't mean like burn it black. I'm like, holy, it's not even gonna taste like a waffle. That's just gonna taste like the grease that's left over on the pan. Jeez.
Totally. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I will say I'm not like a mix your food can't touch. I'm a not touch your food kind of plate eater.
I
So
got
I
you.
eat in the nothing touching the nothing. I want different plates for everything. It's a
I
mess.
love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's a mess.
You should bring one of those. Oh man, I gotta show you. Give me like 2 seconds. I gotta show you something.
God,
All right, wait. So I believe, 1 second. I believe that if you go to Waffle House, you should bring this thing called a Zupal plate, and you can have everything in the different sections, and they're not even touching. You should get
like,
some of these.
so funny. Yeah,
You got the
Oh
ladybugs.
my
You got the
God.
ducks. You got the tigers. You got it all. You should
Oh my God, that is so cute.
I get some soup out, please.
I'm gonna need like 10 egg. Like I go so like, like non-competition seat. I want two waffles, like
Oh, yeah.
all the sausage. Breakfast is like a big deal in our house at least, but you'll have to come over for breakfast. That's the only meal I can cook well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, as we wrap this up, Victoria, thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate it. Where can they find you on social media? They're not already following you.
Yeah, thank you. So on Instagram, I'm still the Foxy one with two X's, O-N-E spelled out. Also on the X and Twitters and the Discords. I'm back to my Vix Crow. So it's kind of like an abbreviation of Victoria Crawford. So it's but yeah, and then on TNA I'm Victoria Crawford. So and right now. So this is super
Awesome.
awesome. Yeah, this is like a really cool natural and new experience. I'm really looking forward to it.
I am very excited for you. I want to see you join TNA, win that championship, become the biggest star in the company, be the next
Oh,
injury of TNA before the Knockouts division. I want to see it. I think it can happen.
I like I do want that too. I'm like
Yeah.
bummed. I'm like, okay, but not to be cocky, but let's fucking go.
Let's
Sorry.
go. Let's go. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for your time, guys. My name is Malcolm. This is Muscle Memory. You can catch Victoria Crawford on Under Siege TNA. Information in the link down below. My name is Malcolm. This is Muscle Memory, and we're out.
We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a muscle man Malcolm. We going up like 1,000. I'm a flex just like a muscle man Malcolm. When it just like 1, 2, 3. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. Ay.